Okay, my suggested topic. If you happen to have kids by accident before vasectomy and you miss the time for abortion, what do you think your life now would be? Do you think you would be different people? Would it affect your activism? Oh, good question.
Oh, mate, this is just smashing open Pandora's box. All right, let's try and do this in a succinct. I can never say that word.
Succinct.
Succinct.
Yeah, because there's 2 C's there after the U. Succinct.
Learn something new every day.
Succinct.
Answer the question, you two. Okay, so it depends when, in this scenario, when we would have fallen pregnant. So if it was before we left Australia for our 1-year sabbatical, so before we started to make all these changes 10 years ago,
Yep.
then I don't think we would be vegan right now.
No.
We would be living the way the majority of people do. And I mean, I don't know if we would have got on social media to see what was going on around.
I'd say, I think we actually objected to social media, didn't we?
Yeah.
Before we even went on that sabbatical. I remember Facebook came out. It was probably about, was it 2005 or something like that?
Yes,
or thereabouts?
That's right. You joined Facebook. I don't know why you did it, but it was at work, right?
Yeah, in about 2006, I think.
And you got a friend request from a girl that we went to primary school with, and you came home and you're like, so-and-so, I won't say her name, send me a friend request. Bugger that. I'm quitting. I'm not going to be her friend.
Yeah. And we already had this this perception of Facebook as stalker book at that time.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's even before we knew anything.
That's right. I really don't think we would have been on social media.
But you never know. We could have ended up
caving
in and seeing, well, look, everyone else is doing it. And remember, we wouldn't have wanted to feel left out because we were...
Anyway, so I don't know if we would have come across the truth about animal products on social media as just regular people in the mainstream. I don't know. I do know that we would have continued the path that we were living, which was polar opposites to where we are now, and very little would have changed. I don't see us as being at a point where we were open enough to consider anything else beside what we'd already known.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that other people do, but I just don't think... It's like we needed to be punched in the face, and life just punched us in the face with, as we said in the previous question, trauma.
Yeah.
You know, and so without that experience, I just don't think that we would have gone vegan and made any changes.
Yeah.
And I think adding kids to the mix just kind of would have further entrenched us in the everyday grind of, waking up, getting the kids to school, and life goes on.
Yeah.
And you kind of have very limited space, energy, time for anything else.
Yeah. And I also feel like I don't even know whether we'd be together today because, prior to the sabbatical, that was when all the trauma was happening, right?
Yeah.
So let's go and throw a kid into the mix. Now, some people have this idea that if they've got a traumatic relationship, that somehow bringing a child into that relationship, well, the birth of the child will sort of fix everything.
Yeah, because it's going to unite us. You know, we've got a common cause or something that we're both working on or towards, raising a child.
Yeah, very, very rarely does that ever work, that kind of thinking, because those problems that were there before the child came, they may... that sense of unification is going to be very short-lived. It's kind of like a honeymoon period.
Yeah.
And then inevitably, all of the things that were there before, they're going to rise up again, and raising a child is extremely stressful. So really, you're really only going to add fuel to the fire, in our opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when the kid's screaming at 2 o'clock in the morning with a fever,
and you've just had a fight because over whatever you used to fight about before you had the kid,
and you got to get up in the morning to go to work,
and you're underslept and you're stressed, and
it's not going to help. Basically,
people think it'll help, but
relationship.
it's more likely to hinder. Hence, I don't think we'd still be together because we needed to go on that sabbatical and go through all the experiences we did and do all that inner work and work on our relationship to still be together today. Yeah.
Now, if in this scenario that Alexandra has suggested, if we fell pregnant after the after the sabbatical, right? So we went on the sabbatical, so within the last 10 years, basically. It's like we need a timeline, isn't it? So we were vegan, for example, or vegetarian, but not doing the activist work that we're doing now.
Okay.
So pre-vasectomy.
Okay.
What would have happened?